Hi, I'm Lisa.
I'm Alice.
Together we're Pivot Workshops. Today is July 2nd, 2022, and we've decided to look at the energy of Roe v. Wade being overturned. We like to look at topical issues for our own interest. Maybe you're interested. If you are, hang out with us. We're hoping to make this, under 15 minutes. Sometimes we go over, sometimes we're under. So we're clairvoyants, we're clairseers, and we're going to close our eyes. So be patient with us if there's silence. Sometimes we're still looking at things. So let's get rolling, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roe v. Wade. The energy. I'm open. You can roll if you want.
So the first thing I'm getting is that this happened to wake us from our slumber. And what I mean by that is we got complacent. The people who sided with with Roe v. Wade and thought it was going to stay the way it was, while other people were like Santa's workshop, frantically trying to dismantle it. And it looks like, complacency is a word that's coming up for me. But also, sometimes we have to step backwards before we take a huge step forward. And I'm seeing that is the thing that's biggest at play right here.
So I'm getting a symbolic picture. Like, again, I'm just reading what I see. I don't know what everything means, but what I'm seeing here is a picture. It's like the Washington Mall, and I see tons of people on the Washington Mall. Mind you, this is symbolic. Don't know if this is going to happen or not. I can't tell you that, but it's like there's a giant podium in the middle, which is not the way it's usually set up at the mall. But anyway, and there are a bunch of seats, and there's people speaking. So it looks like our, a current administration or current, I don't know what's going on here, but there's people on these seats, and I see that there's this mass onslaught of crowd, and this crowd is chanting, and I see whomever's up there symbolically going down a ladder, meaning like there's nothing else they could say to the issue. And then I see someone else taking the podium, coming up from the crowd and taking over the narrative. So it looks to me like whomever is leading this talk, or this current administration we're in, or whatever it is, they can't answer to the crowd, and the crowd has to answer for the crowd. So basically what I'm seeing here is that there's no, our current leaders, or any leaders for that matter, are not the voice in this, and that there's a voice coming in, and it is the people. Don't know what this is going to lead to or what it means, but it's just what's presenting here. Alice, I'm open.
Yeah, I'm seeing something that's really similar to that. I'm seeing this whole thing is kind of a mastermind to divide the country even more, but the opposite is going to happen.
Yeah, I see the same thing, Alice.
Yeah,
it's like there's even more bonding of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, and that's down the road. There's going to be some work before that happens,
for sure.
But you're going to be seeing people coming together that it may not have seemed like allies before. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at like the everyday person. I'm not looking at our politicians. Yeah, go ahead.
It's interesting too in this. So what I see is that a lot of anger and disappointment has brought all everyone together, and this is probably happening. I don't watch the news. But what I see here, though, is that whomever's coming up to speak, instead of taking an angry tone, is more. There's more solidarity here. It's not as angry. It starts off like the energy of, the Women's March back at the beginning at the beginning of the Trump administration. There was a lot of anger here, and there's a lot of anger that's entered this equation as well. But it looks like it needs to be diffused before action can happen. But the anger is really going to push the people off of the podium that don't belong there. And then it seems to like the right people are going to come to lead this movement of change. And it's, I want to say it's more graceful. It's not as aggressive. It starts aggressive and it turns to grace, and then it turns into like sheer love, to be honest with you. It just looks like there's room for hope. So if anything comes out of what I'm peeking at right now, there is hope, but not without some anger. But it can't change with anger, and that's just goes for just about goes for everything. But in this situation, it really isn't going to move until the anger dissipates. Alice?
I'm kind of seeing a movement happening that is like the women's movement in the 70s, but it's not just women. It's everybody. Like the women's movement was all women, and this is all women plus men. And it's people who are seeing the right way to do things and not coming from a place of fear or power, because that's where this dismantling has come from, is people who are about control, about kind of about putting people back into poverty. I'm seeing that's a lot of what it has to do with putting women into poverty so that they don't have they're not holding high position. I'm seeing
What I see is the now I'm looking, and there's, as a result of Roe v. Wade getting overturned, there's going to be different legislation, different writings, different things happening that not only will there be work to get something like Roe v. Wade reinstated, the same laws for women, there's other things attached to it. So I'm looking, and just keep getting symbolism of a list of things. It's a list of things that goes beyond this, about in relation to women's rights in their bodies. It's not just abortion rights. There's other things that are going to get attached to more rights that we have, that looks like we're going to be fighting for. It's not tomorrow at all, but it's going to be a nice package of things. So women are going to have even more rights to their body when some of this mess gets untangled and sorted through. So it is like Alice was saying at the beginning of the read, sometimes we have to go lower to go higher, and it's absolutely true in this situation. And it's just everyone is exhausted from all of these lower dips to get higher, but we're going to have to go through a series of these, and that's why all things are happening. Again, it's not going to help someone who needs those kind of services in the near future, but things are going to change, but it's not through anger. Alice, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm just seeing that this is going to have a ripple effect that was not anticipated, like the possibility of getting rid of the Electoral College, because most of the people who are on the Supreme Court now didn't get there through a president who was elected through the popular vote. So there are things that this is going to start making
Correct.
people look further out.
Yes. Yes, Alice, exactly. Like when I was looking at the list of things, it's not just Roe v. Wade we're looking at as a result. Roe v. Wade getting overturned is going to initiate a lot of things in other areas as well. I mean, not just women's rights to their bodies, but the way our political structure works and how things can be overturned. I'm not smart in this area. I'm not educated in this area, but it looks to me like there's going to be situations where things are going to be written that are bulletproof. They can't be overturned. Mm-hmm. And that's the result of this getting overturned. So sit tight. Let's just see where this rides. It definitely, the anger is not going to change it. Alice, anything else?
No, but people have to do what they can to help create that change.
Exactly.
Whatever that is, donating money.
It's more coming together. It's a lot of coming together.
Yeah.
I'm like I keep getting tons of symbolism of massive crowds in community city centers, and just there needs to be numbers. It's not dissimilar to the Women's March. It's the same amount of numbers, if not more, that need to come out, and that's where a lot of the change will come from to begin with. Let me see if I can find any nuggets. That who is that woman? She's the Latin woman. She keeps coming in. What's her name?
Sotomayor.
Yep. There's something she keeps popping in. She looks like she's gonna have some kind of instrumental part in this. Because she keeps just popping into my screen. Let me see if I can see more. What do you? Oh yeah, she's just there's a lot going on with her. It's also, I'm not going to get into this because it'll take another read into a different direction. So I'm not going to go there, but yeah, there's a lot of players in this arena who are going to step to the forefront, and she's one of them, politically speaking. But really, what I'm seeing more is the voices, the people on the ground, not our politicians. But she looks like a huge fighter in this fight.
Are you talking about AOC?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry if I was unclear.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
I don't either. Yeah, so it would be like, beating a dead horse here. So hang in there, folks. I'm glad that we peeked in. Stay tuned with us. We'll be back in another month or so for another episode for YouTube. That's all. I'm going to open my eyes. Take care.